So, what is going on YouTube? This is Sam from TeamSamuraiX1 here, and today guys, I'm coming at you with my Windwitch Invoked deck profile for the postcode duelist. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Ever since the release of the new set, you guys have been requesting for this deck profile ever since. I would like to apologize to you guys that I wasn't able to give you guys a deck profile as quickly as possible because Spellbook of Knowledge, no one was getting rid of Spellbook of Knowledge, but now since I have a hand on Spellbook of Knowledge, I'm able to give you guys a deck profile. And ever since the release of this card right here, this deck has gone up in consistency, which is absolutely amazing. By the way guys, I've been testing this current version for quite some time, and this happens to be one of the best lists that I've been playtesting so far, and it works really well towards my playstyle. If you guys have any own card choices and card text and things like that, please make sure to use my deck list as a guide to what you guys can play in your own deck. By the way guys, I have a True Draco playmat available. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, make sure you guys get your True Draco playmat today. I do free shipping to Canada and USA. International shipping will cost extra, so if you want to support the channel and get your True Draco playmat, make sure you guys message me on my Facebook page. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's just start with the deck profile. Start with the monster real quick. You're going to play, of course, Triple Alistair, the Invoked. This card is absolutely amazing. You guys know how powerful Alistair is. Being able to just search your invocation directly from your deck to your hand is just really good. And that way that you always consistently have access to fusion monsters every single turn. And the reason why this deck is just so good is that it does not get hurt by link summoning as much because you're going to be sitting on one boss monster anyways. And if your boss monster gets, destroyed, you have a next turn Alistair to actually essentially bring out. And if your boss monster were to get destroyed, you can essentially summon Alistair next turn and basically do the same combo over and over again and consistently make big boss monsters every single turn. So this is why this deck is able to dodge link format, which is really, really amazing. So you want to play Triple Alistair, the Invoked. Next off, to support Invokes, you want to play the Windwitch engine. So you want to play Triple Windwitch, Ice Belt. This card is absolutely phenomenal. The reason why you play Windwitch is a deck because Crystal Wing is just really powerful, especially against Masterpiece. And an indestructible Crystal Wing is pretty hard to actually beat over. So you want to play Triple Ice Belt to actually get Crystal Wing out as quickly as possible, which is really good. Double Glass Bell, and last but not least, the one Snow Bell to round off our Windwitch engine. Play, of course, double Ash Blossom, and of course, double Ghost Ogre. These cards are just really good cards overall against today's meta. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is just really good cards against Heritage, Diagram, and things like that. And also, Ash Blossom is really great against the True Draco Demise matchup, where you're able to just kill cards like Pot of Desires and also Card of Demise, which is really, really powerful. So for this engine, which I believe is really crucial that you must play in the deck, is the Kaiju engine. So you want to play, of course, one Kamungus, one Gamma Seal, one the Wind Kaiju, and last but not least, the one Jizukiru to round off our Kaiju monsters. These Kaijus are just really good overall to actually beat over the meta, getting rid of cards like Dryden that's on the field, or getting rid of cards like Masterpiece, which is one of the hardest monsters to actually deal with, is just absolutely amazing. So having one card out to problematic monsters like Masterpiece and Dryden is also really good to have access to. And last but not least, you're going to play, of course, the one Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, the Blue Boy right here. Blue Boy basically searches out your Spellbook of Secrets, and Spellbook of Secrets basically gets your Spellbook of Knowledge directly from your deck to your hand, so that way that you can draw two cards, which is really good. But other than that, the only problem about this card is that this card wastes your normal summon, so I actually might even want to consider on cutting this card. But most of the time when I actually drew this card, you can actually summon it, search out the secrets, search out the Spellbook of Knowledge, activate Knowledge, send this card to the graveyard, draw two cards, and then if you draw into cards like Invocation or draw into cards like Windwitch, what's it called, Ice Bell, you can basically just go off with your combo plays from there. So, and last but not least, for the best hand trap in the game, you're going to play the one Maxi to round off your monster lineup. And that's pretty much it for the monsters. Let's go off into our spells. Alright guys, for the spell, you want to play, of course, Triple Magical Meltdown. This card is really amazing. Searches your Alistair directly from your deck to your hand, which is really good. So that way that you have access to, fusion monsters, which is really amazing. So Triple Magical Meltdown. Now, double Invocation. The fact that you're able to just recycle back Alistair directly to your hand, shovel this card back into your deck is just really amazing. So that way that you constantly have fusion monsters every single turn. So double Invocation. Next, you're going to play double Terraforming to basically searches out your Magical Meltdown. You want to see Alistair in your hand as quickly as possible, so that way that you can guarantee fusion monsters on the field. And then next, to play for our Spellbooks, we're going to play double Spellbook of Secrets. Secrets is just really amazing to basically searches out your Spellbook of Knowledge, and to round off your Spellbook engine is going to play, of course, triple Spellbook of Knowledge. This card is absolutely phenomenal. For those of you who do not know what Spellbook of Knowledge is effect, Spellbook of Knowledge effect reads that enter the graveyard either one spellcaster monster you control or one other Spellbook card in your hand or face up on the field except for Spellbook of Knowledge, and if you do, draw two cards. It's really the same thing as Wonder Wand, but you have easier access to this card because you're playing the Blue Boy and also Spellbook of Secrets to basically search out this card as quickly as possible. possible. And the good thing about this card is that your whole entire deck are spellcaster monsters. For example, you have cards like the Windwitches, okay? Windwitches are spellcasters right here, which is really amazing. You also got, what's it called, Alistair, which is a spellcaster, which is really amazing as well. So that's why Spellbook of Knowledge is just really good in the deck, because every single card in your deck has targets for Spellbook of Knowledge, which is absolutely amazing. And this card basically helps you dig deeper into your deck to see the combo pieces that you need. And next off, for a board wipes, we're going to play, of course, Double Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This card, you guys don't know how powerful Kaiju Slumber is. Clearing boards is really good, so that way that you can freely summon Alistair and utilize your opponent's graveyard to summon your fusion monsters, which is absolutely amazing. So Double Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Of course, I love this card in the main deck. You're going to play Triple Cosmic Cyclone. Oh my goodness, guys. One of the hardest matchups for this deck is actually, you know, True Draco Demise, or like True Draco in general. The fact that they're able to activate the trap cards to just tribute summon on your turn is just really annoying. And holding Cosmic Cyclones for that situation is just really good, because you're actually able to interrupt their plays, so that way that they don't get out their tribute summon monsters on your turn. So Cosmic Cyclone basically just wrecks the True Draco matchup as a whole. And of course, I'm gonna play the One Regeki to accompany off the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which is really amazing. So getting rid of boards is always really good. And last but not least, for a spell, you're gonna play the One Soul Charge. Like, I believe that this card is just so powerful, because for situations where you already burn all your resources, you already use your Crystal Wing, you already use Stardust, you already use Makaba and things like that, you can actually single-handedly win games by just activating Soul Charge and resolving it. If you activate Soul Charge and reviving back extra deck monsters, those monsters will be going into the main monster zone, not the extra deck zone. So if you have cards like Crystal Wing in the graveyard, Clear Wing in the graveyard, Makaba in the graveyard, you can activate Soul Charge to actually revive all those cards back, and then basically all those cards will be going to the main monster zone and bringing back a Crystal Wing and cards like a Clear Wing, Synchro Dragon. It's going to be pretty problematic to actually deal with. So Soul Charge is really amazing for that. And this is my 41st card of the deck, by the way. I just threw it in because of how powerful this card is. One of the best cards in the game right now. And that's pretty much it for the spells. Let's go off to our traps. For our traps, we're going to play 3 traps only. You know, the one's on warning, and of course, double slalom strikes to run off our traps. Traps, you guys can play whatever you guys will like. You guys can even play more spells if you guys want. But I love to have a defensive aspect in this deck, especially going Makaba. Setting strike warning is just always pretty amazing to have. So, you know what? The one's on warning and double strike is all the personal preference on what kind of trap cards you guys want to play in the deck. But I love playing, you know, the Solemn Brigade. Alright guys, let's go off to your side deck real quick. Side deck is all to personal preference. I like to show you guys on what I like to play in the side deck, so you guys can have an idea on what you guys can actually play in your own side deck. So let's start off with the Artifact Engine, double Artifact Scythe, and of course 1 Artifact Moral Attack. The reason why I decided to side this is because I'm siding Artifact Sanctum as well, and these cards are actually only good against deck that heavily relies on special summon from the extra deck. This engine is not really good against True Draco at all, and there's a lot of True Dracos running around because that deck does not get touched at all by the ban list. A lot of True Dracos running around because that deck did not get touched at all by Link summoning. So basically Artifact, you know, Sanctum and also Scythe and also More Tech are just really good cards overall against decks that utilize the extra deck a lot, like Zodiacs, or also cards and also decks like Royal Chalices rely on using the extra deck. So you would be signing these cards in, especially going first against those specific matchup. But other than that, guys, I'd rather main the Kaijus over this engine because of how relevant True Dragos is in today's meta, and that's just my personal opinion. If you guys want to play this instead of the Kaijus, you guys can go ahead and do so. But I just like to side this engine in the side deck, so that way that I always have access to the extra deck lock, which is amazing. So, you know, this is the Artifact Engine. I also locking from the extra deck as well, double dimensional barrier to actually kill Zodiacs as a whole, which is really good. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the traps that I play in the deck. Next off, you're going to play the 1 Ash Blossom and 1 Ghost Ogre. 3rd Ash and the 3rd Ogre is just really good cards to actually have access to in the side deck. Double Forbidden Chalice for the spells. Card is really amazing, especially against Trickstars. You know, you basically kill Lycoris and their whole combo just die for the rest of the turn. So Chalice is really amazing. Oh, I also play 1 more Dimensional Bear, okay? Like, you know what I mean? The D-Bear just literally kills Zeus, which is really good. And then last but not least, we're going to play the Double Dark Hole to round off our spells. And side deck is always up to personal preference, as I said before. Use my deck list as a guide to what you guys can play in your own main deck or your own side deck. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let's go out into the extra deck real quick. Alright guys, for the extra deck, start out, we're going to play, of course, double Invoked Makaba. You're more likely just going to be sitting on this until this card dies. You're either going to be sitting on Crystal Wing or this, and if this card dies, you can constantly make more fusion every single turn as long as you have access to Alistair, which is really amazing. So, double Invoke Makaba, you know, your Ultimate Providence of the deck, be able to negate a lot of cards, which is really amazing. Double Invoked Raging, you're playing a lot of wins in the deck, and this card is a really good card because it's the Book of Moon during the player's turn, so that way that, yeah, you can interrupt a lot of plays. Double Invoke Purgatrio. card is really amazing. You can make it with, of course, Ash Blossom. So having 2 access to this card is really good. Okay, 1 Invoke Caiathas. You can make this against Paleo, and also you can make this with the Blue Boy, which is really good. 1 Invoke Megalanica. Okay, this card is you can make it off the Zodiac matchup and any Earth monster, which is really amazing. And last but not least, we're gonna play the Invoked Elysium. Last but not least for our synchros, you're gonna play 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Clear Wing, 1 Windwitch Winterbell, 1 Black Rose Dragon. If you have an Astro in the field, you can normal summon, you know, an Ash Blossom or a Ghost Ogre, and basically make it to Black Rose, nuke your opponent's entire board, then activate Invocation to basically bring out your Purgatrio, which is really good. 1 Stardust Dragon, and 1 Siphon Lord Omega. These cards are all optional if you guys will want to play, but you know, the extra deck space is just the extra deck space is just so free. You guys can play whatever you guys will like. But so far, I actually happen to actually make these cards throughout playtesting. Stardust Dragon is really good because if you bring it out in the extra Monster Zone, when it uses the effect to negate something and it comes back to the main Monster Zone, which is really good. Same goes for Siphon Lord Omega. If Omega banishes a card in your opponent's hand, this card comes back into the main Monster Zone next turn, which is really good. So having access to synchros is just really amazing in this deck. And you know what I mean, if you're already using Crystal Wing and things like that, you can always activate Soul Charge to actually revive these cards back from the graveyard, and they'll be put into the main Monster Zone instead. So that's pretty much it for the deck, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that 500+ like button. That'll be absolutely amazing, guys. Stay tuned for more deck profiles. I have the World Child's deck profile coming up. Hank and I have been working on a spicy list for quite some time, so stay tuned for that very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, get your true Draco playmats today, and you know, enjoy this deck with Spellbook of Knowledge. I have a deck profile on True Draco Invoked Spellbooks coming right up, so if you guys want to see that, make sure you guys smash that 500+ like button. I love you guys so much. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Sam from Team Sam signing out. Alright guys, peace.